So I'm on my grandmother's block where I was selling drugs. Where I was running drugs was 10 blocks up. So at this time, it's like 11, 12 o'clock. I'm about to go home. So me and my friend, who was also out there with me, we began to walk to the corner to go to the L train. And this is when housing police jumped out on me. I had a package of drugs. I dropped it, and they wound up finding it and put it on me, and I went in for drug charge. So my next court date, I was 16. My next court date, and believe it or not, this day I got arrested was actually April 1st. So it was like, wow, you know what I mean? And my next court date was April 28th. And when I went into court, my original lawyer wasn't there. They gave me another lawyer to just adjourn it. And when I got to see her, she was like, homicide detective outside, and they're gonna take you on a takeout order to the 75th precinct to put you in the lineup. So I'm like, it was like puzzling to me. I'm like, what is that about? And so she was like, yeah, you don't gotta say nothing to them. Your original lawyer is gonna be there, and y'all handle it there. So when I, finished the court date, they took me out, took me to 75th precinct, and it was said that one Spanish person picked me out of a lineup, and they rearrested me for murder in the second, and reckless the gun. So my lawyers asked me, do I know any of these Spanish people? I said, I know a lot of Spanish people. There's a lot of people that live around where I live that's Spanish. So I couldn't, he wasn't giving me no information where I can actually say I know these people. So I didn't know who was saying what. And plus I'm saying, I ain't even do it. I know I ain't never shot nobody, never killed nobody. I know that for a fact. You know what I mean? So for them to even consider me for murder charges, and then it was found out that this happened 4 months ago. So they expected me, a 16-year-old kid, to know what he was doing 4 months ago on a date that has no significance.
Yeah.
So because I can't give an alibi, it makes me more susceptible to this charge. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't give an account for what I was doing on that day. You know what I mean? So they rearrested me, and that was the beginning of a journey, man.
Mm. Wow, it's crazy. And so you know, we ain't got to play this whole thing out, man. It's just unfortunate. Could you like remember when that time when they actually, not even because you first we go through this conviction stage of being convicted, being
Yeah,
found guilty, and then we go through the sentencing phase. That's for me. That was really traumatizing.
yeah, yeah,
Um, me and I was 20. You know what I mean? Um, but at your age, you know what I mean? We know that that's a big age difference. Could you tell me like what age you actually got sentenced when you were
yeah.
sentenced and how that experience was for you?
All right. I went to trial. It was only like a 2-week trial, so I got sentenced at 17 years old, and it was to 25 years to life, 2 1/3 to 7 for the drug charge, and so it was a total of 29. I mean 27, close to 28 years. Um, that was traumatic. My father was there during all my court dates, and I can remember my grandmother coming to the sentence. Only day she came to the sentence, and it was hard because to know that you ain't even commit the crime and you're being sentenced to 25 years for it, and then you got your grandmother in there listening to this, it was hard. It was hard, and I can't recall if I cried in the courtroom, because it was like a numbing feeling, like I wasn't even actually there
Mm.
because I couldn't see myself being convicted or, you know what I mean, going through this. But
Yeah.
um, it was like a numbing feeling. I believe that I didn't even cry in the courtroom, but when I did get back into the bullpen, is when it came out. It all came out,
Mm.
and at that time, I don't know. A lot of people know about this kid. World from LG was in the pen with me, and when he heard that I got sentenced to 25 years, he told his man that was in the pen to give me a joint so I could smoke it to myself, you know, because he knew that was he seen me crying, he seen me bawling, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's crazy, and gave me a joint. And at the time, I was smoking weed because I was already, that's what I was doing in the street, smoking weed and selling drugs. But
yeah,
that's the time that I broke down. But after that, I mean, I cried a lot of times doing the bid, but it was still like I wasn't in touch with what just happened to me.
yeah. Still surreal.
Yeah, it was like it didn't register. So
Yeah,
you know, I was convicted at 17, and the judge, I remember this like it was yesterday. The judge was like, when he sentenced me, he was like, it was like you was a hitman because the guy got shot 9 times. And the way the witness explained it is like I was waiting on him to come out of a store. So he made it seem like I was a hitman. I assassinated this person and just made it seem ugly. And the
yeah.
whole it ain't me. I don't know. I understand somebody got murdered, but I didn't wasn't the one that did this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
asked me, did I have anything to say? I said no. I didn't have nothing to say because what can you say? Besides, I didn't do it. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm already claiming that. You know what I mean? So I had nothing to say, and that was that was the
So how was that? How was that journey? Like, when you went up north, like, how was that journey for you? In terms of, was you numb? Was you bitter at the system? Like, how did that work out for you growing up in prison now? Because that's what you had to grow up in prison.
yeah, yeah. I I at the time I was out of touch with it. I was like you could say I was numb. I didn't know what just happened to me. Even though I went through it, I just didn't realize it. It was like it was surreal. Like this can't be for real. So I act like with the family that I had around me at the time. It's like they like I'm telling them that I didn't do it. So they like okay, it's gonna work itself out. So me being a kid, like all right, I got a lawyer. You know what I mean? Hopefully it'll work itself out. So I went about my daily activities as what I love to do in the street was play sports. I was always into sports. You know what I mean? I played little league baseball. I played basketball. I didn't really get into football yet, but in prison I did get into football. But I was into sports, so that's what I started doing it to take my mind away from what just happened to me. You know what I mean? And then I realized that I think I realized at around maybe 5 years in that if I didn't take a hold of what's going on in my life, that I could be in here forever. I could actually die in here. You know what I mean? That's how real it became at that time because I was seeing what was going on around me, and me being 17, and I'm gonna be honest with you, 17, I went from Cass. I was in. You come up through downstate, then you go through Comstock. At this time, the year I came up, 93,
Yeah.
downstate, Comstock, both of those reception. Then being that I was only 17, going on 18, they sent me straight to Coxsackie, Gladiator School.
That's right.
So I didn't stay in Kasagi long. I was there only 2 months. I went to the box and I had to do a year in the box. And from there, I went to straight to Attica. So I'm in Attica at 18 years old.
Mm, it's crazy. It's crazy, and it does a lot. It does a lot on the psyche too. You know,
Yeah,
us being, not even fully developed to really understand our circumstances. I just say in my situation, I had to learn the hard way. So I'm reverse to that. You know what I mean? I was in the streets as well, selling drugs. I chose to take a young man's life, just like myself, and even with taking that life, and being charged and convicted as an adult, you know what I mean? We still not developed as an adult. We think we grown, but
yeah,
we not grown. You know what I mean?
facts.
So it takes a serious
Very,
will, a
very.
serious will to get through the time that you and I have done.
Mhm.
And being in New York State prison, you know what I mean? I can't speak for no other prison. I can only speak for, so I did 27 years and 6 months as well. I want to just congratulate you on your release, and you coming home and doing something for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Doing something for the community. You know what I mean? Let's talk a little bit. You know, we're gonna get off into our next phase, and we're gonna bring the brother, my brother Michael Marshall Muhammad. He also did a lot of time, man. He
What?
also did a lot of time. So I don't know if he hear us yet, but
Right?
the
Report that to
brother,
the authorities. So now that word snitch no longer exists.
yeah,
We're
he
gonna
not he can't hear us yet. You heard? But right now what we gonna do, you and I, we gonna go into this next session real quick.
Okay, on the beat.
So this is a session we created, man, on StreamYard, Success After Lockdown, called Cell Therapy. Our cell therapy moment is when we talk about those mental health issues, and us going through being formerly incarcerated, going through that time. I always like to say, and I believe that everybody that been through the prison system suffer from some type of PTSD in their life. You know what I mean? I don't care if you did a year. For me, I just don't. I know that takes on to be confined and away from your family and away from home. That takes a lot from you, psychologically.